Hello there, you are welcome to my channel. My name is Iyanoluwa Adeleke, Baba Iyanu, your AI body. Today we are going to be discussing a topic so important in your storytelling journey that you can't just afford to sleep on this. We are going to be talking on prompting secrets that get you perfect result every time. One thing I would want you to have at the back of your mind is that if you can master this prompting, you can control the camera without touching it. Now let's get to today's teaching. What exactly is prompting? Prompting is directing, not describing. You are not describing to AI what your scene looks like. You are actually directing it that this is what it looks like and this is what I expect you to generate for me. For you to come up with a story, you started off with imagination. You imagined a scene. You imagine the story that you want to tell. So for you, it started as an imagination. But then one thing I want you to realize also is that AI does not imagine like humans do. It is you who imagine. What AI does is to carry out instruction. So when you are prompting for video or for images, you are not leaving AI to imagine what is in your mind. What you are doing is that you have had the imagination in your mind well figured out, that you have attached more details to them, that you can present it in such a way, in such a detailed manner. I mean, as a textual command or instruction for AI now to generate what is exactly on your mind. Now, moving on, I want to introduce you to 6-layer prompt framework. Once you can master this framework, then you can as well be able to generate prompt for whatever scene that you have in mind at whatever given time. When you want to write your prompt, you want to be clear on who your subject is. Okay, let me give you an example of a detailed description of your subject in your prompt. You might say a weary shepherd boy, or a male or female, as the case may be, a police officer in a uniform. Going by these examples that I just gave, you've clearly defined who this subject is. Now compare it to you using prompt like someone, a man. The second layer of a good prompt is the environment. It answers the question of where. Now, I gave an example earlier on of a weary shepherd boy or a male or female police officer in uniform. If these were your subject, then where are they? Where are they placed? You might choose an example of a dense savanna forest, or another environment may be a flooded street during rainfall. So with this prompt, you've not only described your model now, you have placed them in the right environment where you want to see them in your story. Another thing is that the time of the day, when describing the environment, the time of the day dramatically affects the lighting realism. So one thing that the description of the environment does is to describe the realism of the scene and the context. The third layer of a good prompt is action. Now, going back to the English class, we were told that a verb is an action word. So the sentence itself feels dry kind of when there is no action in it. The same thing goes for your storytelling, and you want to describe the action of your subject. Now you've been able to describe your subject, you've been able to place them in the right environment. Another thing you want to do is what are they doing in that environment. When you have a clear action defined, you have a better motion of your picture into video. But when there are no clear action, you have a kind of stiff scene where it is not natural. The fourth layer of a good prompt, and this is where it gets interesting. At this point, you are giving life to your image. The fourth layer I want to talk about is the camera direction. This separates the amateurs from the filmmakers. You may come across some movies done with AI where it tells the story, but then there is no camera direction. It is just as though you are flipping from one scene to the other. Or imagine, let me paint a scenario to you. When you are watching a movie or a short film where there is a dialogue in the scene, you also want to be involved in the conversation even as the audience. So what plays out in that scene is that you tend to have some over-the-shoulder shots of two people conversing. An example is what I'm showing you on the screen right now. So by the time you see this conversation, you will present the subjects on the scene as they are having conversation with themselves. But when we switch to the over the shoulder shot, you see that you as an audience, it is as though you are engaged in the conversation. That is exactly what you want to do in your next AI video generation project. One thing I will leave with you before I leave this particular layer, that is the camera direction, is that you are not asking the AI to record. You are telling the AI to operate the camera. And so for you to direct the AI to operate the camera, definitely you also must know what you are doing. I mean, you must know, you must have the right knowledge of the gear in order for you to be able to direct the AI to that effect. Now let's talk on the fifth layer of a good prompt, and that is mood and emotion. Mood and emotion. This answers the question of how it feels. You want to immerse the audience into a stream of emotion. You want to immerse them into the world, into the story, into the scene that is emanating from the story. And one way that you can control that is through emotional tone of the story. You have some scenes, you have some movies where the emotion there is suspenseful. There are always suspense. It is from one suspense leading to the next scene, one suspense leading to the next scene. It's just like when you are watching a horror movie. You have a different emotion when you are watching a family drama. So different movies, different stories convey different emotion. One thing you would want to note about mood and emotion is that it actually affects lighting, it affects the pacing, and it affects the facial expression. The very last layer I want to talk about is the style and quality, how it should look. You might want to do a short story that you want it to be cinematic or photorealistic. You might want it to have film grain or high contrast. You might even want to tell some epic stories where you need not the subject to have natural skin. You may want them to be like a stone god. You may want to make them like a mythic figure in the story. So the feel, the style, the quality of the output of these stories, of these different types of stories that you have, will differ from one another. So you still want to include this in your video direction when directing the AI on how the final aesthetics and how the final look of the movie or a particular scene should be. It's been interesting talking on the 6 layers of these good prompts, and now we just want to practicalize what we have learned. So now we will make examples of a good prompt, we will write in bad prompts, and we will compare the results, and a couple of these examples we do. Now let's get to it. The first prompt we have here is a man walking in a forest. You can see how vague that is. Let's click on generate. Now the same prompt principle works on any platform you are. This is xv.ai, but whatever site that you are that has these image models, the same prompt guideline will work on our platform. So this is the image we have. Now notice one thing about this image that was generated. Because there was no detailed directing on the environment, everything is in sharp focus. Of course, you don't want to use something like this for a movie project because there is no film look yet in the whole picture. But now let us even get more detailed in our prompt and let's see what result we have. So instead of just a man now, we want to try out this prompt, and that is a Nigerian weary shepherd boy. You know, it is not just a boy now, a Nigerian weary shepherd boy walking slowly through the dense forest at dawn. That is environment. Soft fog drifting between trees, handheld camera with shallow depth of field. Now let's generate a picture and see what will come out of it. Now, this is what we have now. You can see, even though this is just an image generation, there is this film look to it already. Also, in the generated picture, we see that this is a boy, but not just a boy, a shepherd boy. We also dictated the race of the boy, that is a Nigerian boy, from where he hails from. Then also we have the fog in the atmosphere. This is already giving a film look. Now on to the second example. Let us still try one prompt again. We see a sad man sitting on a chair at night. A sad man. That prompt is still vague in the sense that there could be some physical actions of the body that will interpret the man's sadness. But just saying a sad man, just leave everything vague. Let's generate our picture and let's see what comes out of it. And boom, truly we have a sad man sitting on a chair at night. But then, just like in the first example, this picture also, we do not have the environment properly in control, so there is no film look yet, kind of. But now let us be more detailed in the description and let's see what we have with that. Now in this second prompt, we have a middle-aged man sitting alone on a wooden chair outside a dimly lit house at night, shoulders slumped, slowly exhaling as cold air forms faint breath. Single warm light glowing behind him, static medium shot, that is camera control, with shadow depth of field, quiet and melancholic mood, cinematic lighting, photorealistic 4K. Now let's see what we have with this prompt. Let's generate a picture and boom, here is the picture we have. You can see even the faint breath that was referenced in the prompt. You can see it is vivid. Also, even though we have a light lit in the background, yet you can see that there is shallow depth of field. There is a kind of shallow depth of field, blur background, and it's having a film look. I am excited that you joined me on this lesson today. I look forward to seeing you next time on this same channel. This will be a good time for you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, I would like to see your comments in the comment section on what you would want me to talk about in the subsequent videos. Till then, keep creating.